And welcome everyone, all those that are joining us and coming in now via Zoom for our monthly Okanagan School of Business Speaker Series. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. My name is Dan Rogers. I'm the Executive Director for the Kelowna Chamber of Commerce, and we're delighted to have with us TEDx speaker Isabel Mercier, and she's joined us online from beautiful Nanoose Bay. We'll hear more from Isabel and more formal introductions as we begin. We're also pleased to be joined by Chamber President Jeffrey Robinson, who will join us in a moment, as well as Associate Dean, no stranger to us, a familiar friend back from Okanagan College School of Business, Barry McGilvery, and we'll hear from Barry in a moment as well. I'll turn things over to them in a moment, but I do want to acknowledge as we begin our regular monthly series, as we normally do, do want to acknowledge, take time that we, for the most part, all of us are gathered, or most of us at least, in the unceded traditional territory of the Sioux Okanagan people. A couple of housekeeping items off the top. We are recording today's session and it will be posted on the Chamber's YouTube channel a bit later today so others can review the discussion, the presentation as well. Please share that on your social media channels as well. If you're tuning in live, it's great to have you, but it's important that others get access to this wonderful discussion that we're going to have today. Also assume that many of you are used to features of Zoom, but just in case this is your first time, if it's your first time, congratulations. It's great to have you with us. But at the bottom of the screen, you'll note the controls. Please feel free to use the chat function, which will come directly to Isabel and myself. We'll facilitate any questions, or you can use the question function if you prefer that. We'll be monitoring that as we go through the presentation. Once we get through the opening remarks, I will facilitate the question and answer portion. We're scheduled to conclude around 1 o'clock. Isabel's been gracious to hang in a little bit longer in case there are some additional back and forth and questions that we'll address. And we do promise that even if you post them in the questions or in the chat function and we don't get to it, we do capture that and we will follow up with you afterwards. Also want to remind those that have joined us that this is Isabel, just so you're aware. One of the realities of doing Zoom meetings as opposed to luncheons, I used to get in all the free plugs of chamber events while people were eating, and then we did it at the end and people left. So we do that at the front. So my apologies to you, with all due respect, we're going to get to in a moment, but I do want to plug our Okanagan We've Got This initiative. It's the coalition of chambers throughout the Okanagan Valley, providing resources on our website to help many businesses, small businesses and organizations navigate and better understand the government regulations around COVID. It's a great resource to access information, but also to share information and some good news stories as well, some amazing stories of resilience. So that's okay. We've got this. Most of the links are available through your favorite chamber website as well. I do want to plug the Building Resilience to Thrive program. This is powered by the BC Chamber Network in partnership with the BC Chamber. The Kelowna Chamber is pleased to bring this to you. It is also delivered by UVic Gustafson School of Business, launched to businesses across the province. It's offered as a COVID recovery certificate program. 6-week program is delivered by award-winning professors Dr. Mark Colgate and Brian Leacock, who will be presenting in 3 cohorts. The first one's underway. There's cohorts in January and February. If you want to find more information to build capacity, internal capacity with your team, just call the Kelowna Chamber. There is a discount for any member of the Kelowna Chamber, or by extension, the BC Chamber. It's put on by them. Also, we are recording today's session. It'll be posted on our Chamber YouTube channel today, as will tomorrow our Business Excellence Awards. You can tune in on our YouTube channel at 5 o'clock tomorrow as we celebrate the best of the best in business and community leadership during our annual Business Awards virtual celebration that is set for tomorrow. And finally, thank yous to our President Circle members. We couldn't do the work we do on behalf of businesses and small organizations in Kelowna and area without their support and their investment in the chamber movement. Thanks to Interior Savings, UBC, MNP, BDO, and Rogers Communications, and to our affinity partners, Chamber of Commerce Group Insurance Plan, and our local broker, TD Benefits. So that's the commercials out of the way. Now we're going to go into the more formal part, and I'm going to invite Barry to rejoin us at this stage. Bring everybody up and turn things over. Barry, great to see you. You want to provide some greetings?
Yeah, those who've been coming from the past will remember me, but I kind of ceded, if you will, my spot doing greetings to our Dean, Bill Gillett. I'm here to tell you about what's going on at the college. COVID has been difficult for us, as it's been for everyone, but there are a few things that I think help with our reputational branding going on right now. The Queen's competition has just announced its finalists. That's Queen's University. That is the oldest case competition in the English-speaking world, and it has competitors that this year who've made the finals who come from China, Hong Kong, Europe, the US, and this small college that exists in the interior of British Columbia. Our teams in the 6 different areas of competition are in the final 6. So they made the finals out of all of the universities that applied in the areas of accounting, finance, and human resources. So those 3 specialties can lay claim to, at least when it comes to analyzing cases, be amongst the world's elite. Sadly, my team failed, probably because of inadequate coach. I don't know. No. I got the thing back, and we were 8th, and that wasn't quite good enough. I also want to just very briefly talk about some of the things our students are doing out in the community, because I think that our students are in fact our brand in a lot of cases. And I'm going to just pinpoint a couple of things that Enactus is doing right now. Unfortunately, a lot of their programs had to cease because of COVID. There was no way to socially distance them, including my favorite one, which could really be used now, but we can't figure out how to do it. That's Silver Surfers, where we teach seniors in seniors' homes how to use technology to connect with their loved ones. The other ones that have been killed briefly are Accelerate Youth, which we essentially teach at-risk youth. My mouse quit working. To life lessons from other students while they're actually learning how to cook in our kitchens. The 2 that I want to just briefly tell you about that are still going are Fruit Snaps, where we take apples that are unwanted and would otherwise be left to rot, dehydrate them, and turn them into very tasty snacks that we supply to elementary schools to be part of their meal programs. And that has expanded greatly. We've had to bring in a partner, BCIT, for some help, and we now, through our partnerships, are getting inquiries from as far away as North Korea. So that's really interesting one, and it's totally student driven. And the final one really is our brand new one called Move Up, and that's with the business students have enlisted a couple of engineering tech students, and what they're doing is creating a kind of a secure storage unit that will help people experiencing homelessness have a place to store their valuables rather than try to carry them around with them as they go on their way. That's kind of in the prototype stage now, but it'll be an excellent project. Other than that, I mean, we have a great many things happening at the college. You would have been invited right now to our new building opening, but obviously we can't do that. The new health building's open, and that's about it. The only other thing I can tell you is, strangely enough, our enrollment is pretty constant. We lost a significant number of international students, but we more than made up with them with an unexpected increase in domestic students. Going online now, our classes actually have students who count as domestic students from as far away as Quebec, Australia, and Europe, who are proceeding towards a BBA with us. So interesting times. When will we be back to face is what I always hear. Don't know. That is up to Dr. Bonnie Henry, not really up to us. But we're planning to at least be able to go back partially, if allowed, come next fall. So
Excellent.
thank you very much. And I'm going to mute my picture, but stay on and listen to the proceedings.
All right. Thanks very much, Barry. And Isabel, you've been patient, but we do want to take a moment. And Isabel, we appreciate you joining us and your background, and we know you're extremely busy. At this point, I'm going to turn things over to Jeffrey Robertson, President of the Chamber, to give those that have joined us a bit of background and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Dan, and thank you all for joining us today. We're really excited today to have Isabel Mercier-Turcotte, a renowned brand strategist, business growth catalyst, the CEO and founder of Leap Zone Strategies, and the host of leaptv.com. Have you ever wanted to have more influence and create more impact? Do you wish you could charge clients what you're really worth? Wouldn't it be great if your prospects could quickly know and understand your value? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you'll be glad you're here today. Isabel co-founded her first business a few years in her teens and quickly turned it into a 7-figure creative firm without ever pitching an idea before getting hired. She is now one of North America's top business influencers, a 2-time TEDx speaker with more than 2.5 million views, and is a fitness fanatic, from being an avid yogi to deadlifting over 250 pounds. She's going to help us be the first, the best, or the only. So please join me in welcoming our brand strategist, best-selling author, and motorcycle lover, Isabel Mercier-Turcotte.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Kelowna. I love Kelowna, and I'm thrilled to be here. Before we move forward, just want to make sure that everybody is seeing my screen and can hear me, making sure that I did that right. Awesome.
Oh,
perfect.
Awesome.
Great.
And we should clear up, Isabel, Quebec Nordique fan or Montreal Canadian?
Oh.
Okay, we'll come back. We won't.
Okay, that's right. I am from Quebec and I've lived a long time in Montreal, but I will say Montreal Canadian, I will say.
Hey,
all right.
Vive la habitant. So over to you.
That's right. Exactly. Love it. Love it. So yes, today we're going to talk about how to position your brand to always, not just now, but to always be the first, the best, or the only, so that you can grow and thrive your business, any size, in any economy. Any economy meaning despite of what's happening in the world. And let me start by saying this. Positioning and position is as important to the health of your business as a heartbeat is important to a human body. And this is true whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're a business owner with a small team, or whether you're at the head of a Fortune 500 company. Without strong brand positioning, the only option you have left is to compete on price. And that's a guaranteed race to the bottom, especially in this new economy that COVID is creating. Now, before FedEx, there was no overnight delivery. Jake Burton basically created the sport of snowboarding. Before Domino's, there was no market for home delivery pizza. Before Apple, a cell phone, imagine that, was only to make calls. PayPal created the online payment category. And Wow One Day Painting now paints your entire house within 24 hours. Those are all brands that position themselves as the first. Now, since the pandemic, 60% of consumers have tried a business for the first time, right? They've tried something new for the first time. And 89% of them plan to stay with that option. That is huge. That's huge for all of us small business owners. Now, of course, this pandemic is terrible, and we don't wish this on anybody, of course. Yet, it is also the single greatest opportunity you will ever have to grow your business, assuming you do the work required to clearly position your brand as the first, the best, or the only. Otherwise, you'll get lost in a sea of information and choice overload, because there are more people online right now than ever. So people have a lot of choice. Now, your brand has to make life better. It has to. Unless all you do is being by referral, which of course this is not the greatest way of being proactive with your business, your brand has to make life better. Your brand has to solve a big top of mind problem. And your brand has to be positioned as the first, the best, or the only in solving that problem, or you will be eliminated. You will be eliminated. I can't stress that enough. Positioning is that important. And let me tell you, a lot of you are absolutely amazing at what you do, but unfortunately, you're not positioned in a way that gets your ideal clients to find you and to be compelled to choose you regardless of price. Now, I'm known as the Simon Cowell of branding and business growth. And I choose to see this as a huge compliment, because this guy sure knows how to spot, how to position, and how to catapult talent forward. I am, however, definitely more fashionable and a hell of a lot friendlier. Now, and in the past 25 years, I've created a few seven-figure businesses. I've produced and hosted the #1 online TV show. I have created and delivered 2 TEDx talks, and I won Entrepreneur of the Year and was nominated one of North America's top business influencers. Now, I'm not saying this to give myself a nice tap on the back here. I'm saying this because, let me tell you, I have been through my fair share of crippling economic downturns that required me to reinvent and reposition myself and my brand to continually be and continually stay the first, the best, and the only. And in my 25+ year career there in doing this in the world, I've successfully done that with hundreds of entrepreneurs and thought leaders around the world, because nowadays we can do business with anyone around the world. And we've done that by helping them step out of the best kept secret closet and fully step into positioning and delivering their genius with influence and impact. Brand positioning can make or absolutely break your business, period. So today, I'm going to give you everything I possibly can with the little bit of time that I have left here to actually debunk some branding myths. So I want to debunk some branding myths that are slowing down your growth. I'm going to give you 3 vital positioning ingredients. Now there are 10, and we're going to actually dig into 3 of them to help you position yourself as, of course, the first, the best, and the only. And I will give you a brand positioning success formula that will dramatically increase the value that you bring on the table, your leadership, and also your influence. And I'll give you a couple of opportunities here to connect with me for a few additional free resources to help you implement what you learned today. Because of course, knowing something is one thing, implementing it is another. And the key is to turn common sense into common practice. So this is the statement. I would be a fool to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of price. I don't know anybody who doesn't want that. Yet that is exactly what my team and I help our client achieve. But let me tell you, it takes a hell of a lot more than talent, than a good idea and a cool website to create that kind of commitment, that kind of positioning. It takes the right 3 differentiating pillars, constantly elevated and course corrected to create that kind of results. And these pillars are positioning, personality, and performance. These are the 3 most important pillars for creating a brand that's positioned and engineered to help you thrive regardless of what's happening in the world. This is our own proprietary architecture and roadmap to help our clients grow and scale. When we look under the hood, we look under the hood of these 3 ingredients. Positioning, right? What do you want to be known for? What is the new normal you're creating? How are you claiming a position or a reputation in the market, or several markets for that matter, right? For your company, for your product, for your service. In which ways is your company's offerings different from your competitors? How are you unique? In other words, why should someone choose you instead of your main competitor, right? And anyone else for that matter, regardless of price. Personality is all about, what does your brand stand for? What are you willing to do or not willing to do to get to from here to there, or to deliver your genius? How you make life better, and why people should fall in love with you, your product, your brand. Performance is all about having clear aspirational goals and tangible goals, clear objectives, and most importantly, knowing what needs to be eliminated, what needs to be automated, what needs to be innovated to make your business and brand operate like a well-oiled machine. How will you systemize the predictable to maximize the exceptional? Because inside of structure lives freedom, contrary to popular belief. Freedom doesn't just happen, it lives inside of structure. Now, within these 3 vital trifecta pillars, we've established at LeaveZone that there are 8 key areas for growth: brand and positioning, time management, vision and strategy, efficiency and organization, mindset and inner game, technology, sales and marketing, money and KPIs. Right? These 8 key areas for growth are vital to building a thriving business that is designed to withstand any economic climates. And when clients work with us at LeaveZone, we create and elevate and revive these 8 key areas over time. But right now, what I want to focus on is the 3 vital branding positioning ingredients that I talked about in the agenda. And those live under the brand positioning and culture category. So I'm going to give you 3 out of 10 from one of these 8 areas for growth. So you see, it takes a really good area roadmap to actually build a sustainable business. So that's what I'm going to share with you right now. So to be clear, first, this is very important. A brand is not a logo. Is a logo important to a brand? Absolutely. A brand would not exist if it didn't have a visual trigger to really remind people if you are loving them or not. Denny's, my first experience at Denny's, I experienced a 9-day food poisoning. Let me tell you, when I see the Denny's logo, it's not very good in my tummy. And they could gold plate that logo for all I care. What I would remember is the experience that I had, and it was not great. Thus proving that a logo is a visual trigger to remind you if you've had a great experience. My experience with the Apple logo is very different than with the Denny's logo. So a brand is not a logo. A brand is also not a website. Is a website important to a brand? Yes, of course, it's your spokesperson that actually communicates your genius on your behalf 24/7 while you sleep. But is a brand a website? No. A website is merely how you express your personality, your positioning, so that people go, where have you been all my life? Brand is also not a product nor a service. Is a product or a service important to a brand? Of course, it wouldn't exist without it. But if a brand is not a logo, it's not a website, and it's not a product, what is it? A brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room anymore. Branding is how people feel when they buy your product or your service. Branding is how people feel about the experience that you provide. Brands are no longer defined by companies and markets. Brands are defined by people and emotions from the companies. In other words, it's not what you say it is what they say it is. Now, perception is reality, and the key is to align what is with what is being perceived or experienced out there. That is what branding is all about. Now, positioning is the place you want to own in your target audience's mind, right? It's exploring, identifying, and refining what makes your brand the best choice for your clients. It's about confidently owning who you are, what makes you different, what makes you compelling. And most entrepreneurs are massively unclear about that. And you might be in that same boat. Positioning is also about understanding the number one problem you solve. And then the next 3 to 5 other problems, top of mind problems that you help your customers solve. It's also knowing and owning how you, your business, your brand make life better. And it's about being clear about who you're best suited to help. You know, who wants and truly values what you offer. And most importantly, why should they care? And again, most entrepreneurs are very confused about that. How do I know? Just looking at homepages. If I just visit homepages of organizations, I know that they're unclear about that. Brand positioning is all about claiming a place in the eyes of your ideal clients and by creating know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. Brand positioning is DT equals R plus D. What does that stand for? It stands for desire. Let me change my slide here. It stands for desire and trust equals reliability and delight. Building desire and trust by meeting and exceeding your customers' expectations. Most people are not reliable, and most people don't think that the little things that can delight and make someone's day make a big difference. So now let's look at the number one brand positioning ingredient, which is your mission. And no, I did not say your mission statement. Mission statement is a swear word at LeapZone. The F word isn't though. But mission statement, who cares about a mission statement? What we care about as brand builders and brand strategists and positioning experts is we care that you are on a mission. A mission, the one that I'm going to talk about here this morning, is an energetic internal mission, and it's how you want to leave people feeling, period. The problem is people create mission statements that are very long and boring and that nobody remembers. And when we look under the hood of a business and we ask the front line and the employees, we say, what is the mission of this company? Nobody knows. Everybody says to me, it's on our website somewhere. Right? The result is when you know how you want to leave people feeling with 1 or 2 words, and then when you align everyone in your business and everything you do to deliver that, magic happens. Because people don't buy what you do. People buy why you do it. They buy a feeling and a sense of belonging. There's an insurance company in the UK, and you know insurance companies, you know, if your house burns down or floods, you know, the insurance companies, their job is to, you know, rebuild and help you, however, save the most amount of money possible. This particular company here, their mission, their internal mission is to leave people feeling wowed and delighted. And do you know how they deliver that? They actually send their clients, their devastated clients, to their ideal vacation while they fix. You don't get to create innovations like this by having a boring mission statement on your website that nobody knows and nobody connects with. At LeapZone, we want to leave people feeling on fire and unstoppable. Our entire team knows it, and we work very hard and very smart every day to deliver that. The second brand positioning ingredient is your brand promise. What is that? That's your measurable accountability. It's what bridges your genius and the needs and desires of your clients, right? It's what you deliver without fail, come rain or shine. Now, the problem is, again, most companies don't have a brand promise. And chances are, you might not have a clear brand promise either. And quality, by the way, is not a brand promise. That's implied. If you're in business, quality is implied. When you don't have a brand promise, you're leaving a lot of money on the table because you're not communicating what's in it for your customers in a way that gets them to say, where the hell have you been all my life? There's a company in Vancouver called Provident Security. Mike Jagger created that company right out of his teens. And that company is a security company. And in the security company world, when the alarm rings, the police response time is anywhere between 2 and 2.5 hours. A lot can happen within 2 and 2.5 hours. The very company that you're paying, their response time, I'm not talking about a quick phone call here. I'm talking about a car in front of your house helping. Their response time is anywhere between half an hour and an hour and a half. Again, a lot can happen in that time. He thought the world expects this and pays for this, and and the companies deliver much lower. So he created a brand promise for his company that is 5 minutes response time. Within 5 minutes, within a few minutes, there's a phone call, but within 5 minutes, there is a guard, there is a security guard at your house. Now, Provident Security is the fastest growing security company in North America. Their ads, which now you're going to notice, their vehicles as well as yellow vehicles with a blue owl on it. Their ads say, are you paying enough for your security company? Because they position themselves as the first and the only. See, when you're clear about your promise, and it's a promise that solves a top of mind problem or a promise that people want, you can actually charge a premium for what you do. Money loves clarity. Money loves focus. Apple promises to always challenge the status quo. And they've created a cult-like culture that believes that once you go Mac, you never go back. And early adopters love the Apple brand because it fuels their need for uniqueness. Now that's strong positioning. Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, Band-Aid are all some of the major brands that created their own categories to be the first. We have a client that, a small but mighty security company client in Vancouver. And before we worked together, he generated just a little over $250,000. But by creating together his killer brand promise and positioning one of his product and his promise to be the first, the best, and the only, he was able to secure his first $600,000 contract, which was, believe you me, a massive win that would never have come to life without repositioning his offer so it cannot be refused. Your brand promise is a hugely important factor in your success, of course, and is a component that we teach and coach on with our small business owners through, of course, our Leap Zone Trifecta and our Build to Rock process. Now let's look at the third brand positioning ingredient, which is your X factor. And your X factor is what separates you from the pack. It's why people choose you instead of anyone else, regardless of price. It's what makes you basically the #1 choice in the eyes of your ideal clients. The problem, once again, is that very, very, very few people know what makes them truly stand out or know how to communicate that uniqueness in a way that resonates and influences. And when you don't know what makes you stand out, your confidence goes down, your ability to get clients and make sales go down, you start doubting the value of your product and services, and you lose massive growth opportunities during COVID or not during COVID. And as I said, you leave a lot of money on the table because of that. Because innovations, you see, innovations don't come out of great ideas. Innovations come out of fixing problems. They come out of dismantling the status quo. And that's positioning work. That's understanding what you stand for as a brand. And I want to give you a great example of that. It's a grocery store called Tesco Home Plus. And Tesco is a grocer with a vision to grow their brand to a whole new level of influence and impact worldwide. But Tesco knew that it had a massive problem with their Korean market. You see, Koreans work very hard. Koreans work also very long hours. Koreans spend a lot of time in transit. And most importantly, Koreans hate grocery shopping. Now, I don't know, but if you have a grocery store and that's what you're faced with, obviously, they knew that in order to grow, they would have to solve a time and a desire issue. And when you have a time and a desire issue to solve, let me tell you, that is no small task. So what they did is they started asking smart questions like, what if grocery shopping was fun? What if it was relaxing and cool? What if grocery shopping was practical? And hell, what if it was easy? Better yet, what if grocery shopping was at your fingertips? What you see here is not a real grocery store aisle. What you see is a subway station that mimics a grocery store that allows people to shop while waiting for their train. Now, talk about creating a new normal of uber convenience. Talk about positioning themselves as the first and the only. No more big stores, of course, reducing their expenses by hundreds of millions of dollars while massively increasing their sales. The results, their profit rose by 300%, and they created a much happier culture. That's what I call flipping an industry on its head. Now, you don't need to flip an industry on its head to have a strong X factor. What you need to figure out, is it a methodology? Is it a framework? Is it something unique that you do? A past job you've had that created something very unique in the way you see things, in the way you deliver things. And one thing that's really important to know is demand plus scarcity equals opportunity. The same way that crisis plus danger equals opportunity. And we are in a crisis plus danger equal opportunity right now. Now, Novaks Courier is a client of ours, and we absolutely love these guys. You know, they're the best delivery solution in the Vancouver Lower Mainland region. They are also the only delivery company that is carbon neutral and B Corp certified. They have more hybrids than any other same-day courier company, which means that their emissions are 180 tons lower annually. Now, how did they communicate that awesome fact before we came along? By saying, changing the way we deliver. Really? That's not going to do it. We don't care about the way you deliver. We care about what's in it for us while caring about Mother Nature. So we've repositioned them as the safest, greenest, and kindest same-day courier company. That positions them as the first, the best, and the only. And that's what I call playing to win rather than playing not to lose, because there's a difference. If you play not to lose, you're not in the game as much and as in the same way as if you're playing not, or as if you're playing to win, right? And the tagline here, safest, greenest, kindest, same-day courier driver on their t-shirt, but courier company, that differentiates them. This is not the time to actually be safe and guarded and not to give yourself a tap on the back in branding and positioning. Branding and positioning is about highlighting what is absolutely unique about you. And as a result of repositioning them, we've also created a program for them that's called the Retail Delivery Boost Program. And because they are claiming themselves as the safest, greenest, and kindest, in order to be the kindest, you need to prove, you need to actually do things to deliver on what you say you're going to deliver. So this Retail Delivery Boost Program is they went in their neighborhoods to target small retail mom and pop shops that are suffering through COVID because people don't go to stores anymore. And what they did is they said, we're going to create signage for you. We're going to tell the world that you deliver, and you can actually get people to phone or look at your website, even if you don't have e-commerce, and just say that we'll deliver on the same day and we'll partner with you. See, you don't come up with great ideas like that by having a mission statement that sounds like blah, 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 blah. Your X factor is also known as your money-making edge. Your X factor is a vital factor in your success and is truly a component that is so important in the leap zone methodology that we spend quite a bit of time in investigating and uncovering that precise fact with our clients, with our trifecta, and also through our Built to Rock process. The goal is not to do business with everyone who needs what you have. You see, the goal is to do business with people who believe in what you believe. Your team members, your clients, your joint venture partners, your suppliers. And I know that some of you are not working with people who believe in what you believe. And that is extremely frustrating. It's time consuming. And you know what? It's very, very, very costly. So now I want to share with you the brand positioning success formula that I've promised. And if you're here, that means I can assume that you want your brand to become more influential, create more impact, and be loved by more people. Am I right or am I right? I know that I'm right for that because you're part of this beautiful organization and you're here listening to this. So listen carefully, because this simple formula is the difference between I like you versus I must work with you. It's also the difference between I like your brand versus I must own or have your brand. And the equation is P plus PDS equals rockstar brand. What does that stand for? The P stands for having an authentic and differentiating brand promise, right? Being a 5 minutes response time in a sea of 2.5 hours. That's a differentiating promise. PDS stands for promise delivery system, right? What's a promise delivery system? It's every contact made with your clients or prospects before, during, and after a sale. Whether you sell a service or a product, you are in the business of making life better through providing an outstanding experience that people can count on, that people can rely on, period. And in that promise delivery system, there are stages, right? There are stages to creating a customer experience that is worth talking about. From pre-qualifying to qualifying to proposal to how you onboard a client, how you complete something, how you renew, how you upsell, how you follow up, and how you nurture. Unfortunately, this is where people screw up the most. Most people don't have a solid when this, then that system. And not having a clear and consistent when this, then that system, which is the promise delivery system, what that does is it leads small business owners to feeling overwhelmed, overworked, and underpaid. And then they have to fight on price versus value. It allows no scalability whatsoever, which means the ceiling for growth is low. And there's no differentiation in that. There's no reason to buy you over Jane Doe. How you answer the phone, how you follow up, how you consistently stay top of mind, how you have a system in place to brighten someone's day. All those touch points matter. They create wow, they create delight. They ensure that you provide a customer experience that will be talked about, and they ensure that you will do what needs to be done to increase your conversion. I once met someone at a networking event, and I clearly stated to this person, I said, I need and I want what you offer. Please, here's my card. Connect with me. I want to buy what you're offering. I gave her my card and made her promise that she was going to get back to me. Did she? No. Come on now. Come on now, people, right? Structure plus system plus support are what gets results, not good ideas. We operate at our best when we have a step-by-step process to follow. And in our Built to Rock process, we give you a step-by-step process of what to do at exactly every one of these stages, whether you're a service business or a product business, so that you don't have to start from scratch. Because I like smart shortcuts. I like processes. I like to create consistency, because that's what people can rely on and look forward to relying on. So now what I want to do quickly is I want to share with you some great transformation that we've created with our clients from a positioning elevations perspective. And what I want to show here is I want you to see the difference that brand and positioning clarity makes on your visual identity. Because what I've shared with you today means nothing if it's not clearly supported by your team, and of course, well communicated by your cosmetic brand, right? Your logo, your website, your promotional tools. And a visual brand and a website can either be an expense or it can be an investment with massive return on your investment by doing the positioning work that's required to turn your cosmetic brand and website into one of your most valuable spokesperson, right? Someone that accurately speaks on your behalf 24/7. Someone that converts prospects into clients while you sleep. That's leverage. So here's a couple of examples of that. This is a before. There's nothing wrong with this website with Trisha Miltimore, except that everything was wrong with this website, right? Because it's everything in the kitchen sink. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to look. I don't know what she does really. And it's a lot to look at. When you're clear, that shows me unclarity around what she delivers and what she offers. It's important to have clarity and clean visual to actually get the eyes to go exactly where you want. That video right there at the bottom is a video that's clearly highlighting what she does, how she does it, and it's clearly about helping people get to a yes, right? Have them believe that they can do it. This company here, everybody knows Big Bus. It took about 17 clicks here to make a purchase. And I wouldn't know where to start when you go to this. But when you start understanding and building a brand that is simple and clear, we've renamed and we've reorganized. And it's instead of hop on, hop off pass, it's, hey, let's explore together. We've got guided tours, we've got hop on, hop off, we've got attractions, we've got charters. Couple of clicks here and you can actually build your own experience and have it purchased within a few minutes. This company, West Coast Sightseeing, had an objective of being the first, the best, and the only, and the greatest within 5 years. And they've managed to do that within 3. Well, you don't manage to do that and be known and be seen with vans like this, but you can with vans like this. So when you see 300 vans like this in a city, you notice. You also notice their apparel, their core values on their ties to create conversations. This, believe it or not, is a website that is a company that is better than Fitbit. Would you know? No, you wouldn't, because their look and feel wasn't in alignment with that. And certainly the experience wasn't either. And a lot of people have their website do wrong things. I met someone recently. She spends a hell of a lot, $8,000 on SEO every month and sends a bunch of traffic to a website that to me bounces people off. There's no point to that. A website is designed to triage. The homepage is to triage. This is our website. Solopreneurs, small teams, corporations. I do not speak to solopreneurs the way I would speak to corporations. They don't have the same problems. They don't speak the same language. Here, we have a page that says, this is how we roll. We have 12 things you need to know about us. And this is things that if you don't agree with and you're not inspired by what we say on this page, chances are we're never going to work together. We would not be a good fit. This woman here, Powerhouse, you would never have known from her website. Again, she was unclear. She had about, I don't know how many hundreds of offerings and very confusing. Now we've repositioned her that she's all about helping people create impact. That's all she does. Simple, clean offerings that help people create impact. It's bold as she is. as opposed to being one of 100,000 of many, right? So the key is consistency. Consistency from the website, from your social media, from LinkedIn. I'm going to go fast here because we're approaching one o'clock, and this is important and it's easy. It's consistency everywhere. Where people go, they need to recognize that they're in your ecosystem. They need to recognize that they're in your world. See, when you're crystal clear about how you want to leave people feeling, which is your energetic mission, what makes you the best, which is your promise, what makes you the only, which is your X factor, what makes you delightful and relevant, which is your promise delivery system. People buy regardless of price. Now, as I said, there are 10 vital branding positioning ingredients, and I've shared 3 with you today, which means, of course, we've only scratched the surface. But the key is to remember that being the first, the best, and the only gives you and your brand a huge advantage in the eyes of your ideal clients and will allow you to thrive despite of what's happening in the world, because people will always buy, COVID or not. People buy solutions for their biggest problems every day. The question is, will they buy yours or will they buy someone else's? So I said at the very beginning that I was going to share a couple of things, a couple of ways to actually connect with us and my team to go a little bit deeper and perhaps, ask questions around what I've shared here today. And the first one is called the Brand Boost Assessment, which is 5 simple questions to inspect your brand and your business's viability. So what you'll go through is a series of 5 symptoms that many business owners experience. You'll rate yourself and your business on the degree to which that symptom is absent or present in your business. And that whole process, very fast, very simple, but very valuable exercise to help you pinpoint some potential blind spots and potential next steps here to fix them. So if you go to leapzonestrategies.com/brand boost, you'll be able to download this for free. Now, the second one is the opportunity to get on an insight call with us to identify the #1 point of leverage for you to be positioned as the first, the best, or the only. And I can say with 100% confidence that my team and I, these times right now, this is what we're built for. We're built to work with entrepreneurs and thought leaders that are obsessed about making life better, first and foremost, for themselves, for their team, and for their clients, and who want to do that in a simple, right? Because success is about simplifying, not complicating, and who want to do this in a simple, impactful, and of course, differentiating way. And if that's you, and if you've connected with what I've shared today, well, then truly, I invite you to fill our needs assessment, online needs assessment, and that'll lead you to a call together, absolutely free. That's an opportunity to get to know each other and an opportunity to see, how we can help you grow, if and how we can help you grow, if and how we can be a fit. And because we promise clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum, and we want to leave people feeling on fire and unstoppable, what we do is all of our clarity calls or insight calls, they're all immensely impactful because we are passionate about helping solopreneurs who are wanting to pivot, grow, and scale. So that needs assessment, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you're at the head of a larger organization, just go to leapzonestrategies.com/rise to have access to that absolutely free and to continue this conversation here. And then throughout the presentation, you heard me talk about my Built to Rock process a few times. And I created this Built to Rock process specifically to help solopreneurs and small business owners get their brand foundation and positioning in place so that they don't die. There is no reason to die when you're positioned in a way that your ideal clients can find you, can resonate with you, and can go, where have you been all my life, right? And so to see if you're a fit for our Built to Rock process, all you need to do is fill out our needs assessment at leapzonestrategies.com/rise. Right on time, my friends. All I want to say in ending is, as you've heard me say before, branding and positioning can 100% make or break your business. And our goal at LeapZone is to help you position yourself as the #1 choice in the eyes of your ideal clients. And this is where you can connect with me more, on social media. And what I would like to know now, and I'll pass the baton back to you, but what I'd love to know is what are some gems and what are some insights that you've gotten from my presentation here today? And of course, happy to answer questions and drill. This is an opportunity here for potential free coaching. So I'm all yours.
Thanks very much, Isabel. Excellent, and also conscious of time. So we'll take any. If anybody wants to pose a quick question, either using the Q&A button or the chat, you can do so now. We do set this up, Isabel, usually for an hour, so people set their lunch hours aside to join us. I will tell those that have joined us as a little thank you and a bit of a token of appreciation for hanging in. I've got some gift certificates to give away, $50 at a great chamber of business, and we're passionate about celebrating our members, the Thai Terrace. So we'll do that in a few minutes, but I do want to go to a couple of quick questions. And as a fan of brand management, I certainly have lots, but Jeff, I'm not sure whether you have some thoughts off the top. And Jeff, did you explain your background as a legal firm? Because that would have been one of my questions. You made some brand references in the larger corporations. Is it the same discipline no matter what sector you're in? And Jeff, any thoughts off the top of your head?
Well, it certainly does kind of resonate with me because our website looks like the ones that maybe you wouldn't be so impressed with. And I guess part of it is, our firm is about 10 years old, and lawyers aren't the best business planner types. And we never actually sat down and talked about a lot of the questions that you have. So maybe, do you have advice for a business like mine where, I'm not starting up, I'm not coming out of the gate, and we have a culture, but we've never actually, we know what it is. We can talk about it, and I think we'd all probably agree on what it is. But how would you take a business like ours, which has a reputation and a structure, and how would you coalesce that into, your first, best and only structure?
Yeah, I mean, we do work with solopreneurs and large global companies for sure, and it is the same process. Is to really look at where we're at now, where you're at now, and where you want to be, who you're serving, and what the top of mind problems are, so that the content on the website and how you are being as a culture, right? Because you're saying we know what it is, we agree on what it is, but the key is, do we live that on a daily basis? Is everyone in your organization living the brand foundation and having proof of being in alignment with it or not in alignment with it? And so we have our own process to look under the hood. We have a retreat center. This is where I'm at right now. And we do that virtually or here at Trailblazers. And we look at these ingredients and we refine, we elevate. Sometimes it's about refining and elevating. Sometimes it's about completely innovating and creating something new. But ultimately, it's about getting in alignment with what we're offering, how we're offering it. And most importantly, Jeff, why would I hire your firm versus someone else's firm? And that's just part of the exercise of going through the thinking exercise of going through these ingredients while being facilitated and helped by someone who does this for a living. Because when you're in the pickle jar, you can't see the ingredients.
And I have one quick one, Isabel. Just we've been talking. Chambers of Commerce have been talking for quite some time, but even raising our voice recently to remind those in the public and citizens and consumers about the value of investing, particularly now in local companies, small businesses. It always surprises me that the awareness around millennials, and you mentioned in your presentation B Corp, right,
Yeah.
certification, and that there's not more consumer awareness, but it's the consumer convenience. Can we as local small businesses compete against those big giants that have those portals, or do we still have to watch Steve Bezos' trucks drive past the front of our business? Can we?
No, you can actually compete. The thing is, you can't, and I have a different presentation called Helpfulness is the New Hustle. Mm-hmm. And in there, I talk about that precisely, that you can't win on the same highway that they're in, but you can actually compete on a different highway, right? Or on a different runway. by out teaching, by outshining, and by outwitting. And those three categories here are absolute, a lot of that is free. So, but yes, you absolutely can, but it requires some thinking. It requires some digging and figuring out what you could compete and why someone would choose you instead of the actual bigger organization that might be possibly more practical due to delivery or due to, you know, but yeah, that's the passion work that we do here at LeapZone.
One of the lines I've used through life, and I've been involved in marketing, communications, politics for a bit, is the world's run by those who show up.
That's right.
So thanks to those that have showed up today. And one of those is Alex. His question is, what if a business model relies on other service providers, i.e. e-commerce? So their supply line. How do you manage your overall brand when you rely on others?
Yeah, that's great. A brand relying on other brands to survive, right? So the key here is to make sure that you are clear about your own brand foundation. And then you need to really be selective, like you would be selective in who you hire to work with you as a team member. You would also be very careful with who you partner with in order to deliver your genius, right? And so that has to be in alignment. I've said no to suppliers. I've said no to amazing opportunities because recently a book opportunity, because the whole brand foundation was not in alignment. And so it'll never be perfect, but it can be close to when you're clear about what you stand for and what's important to you in your brand foundation.
Last question I have is, and if anybody wants to get one here before we sign off, please let us know through the Q&A or the chat function. But I often hear companies, well, you didn't live up to your brand promise. Is part of, and maybe it's one of the 7 remaining items, is how do you, it's you know, service delivery, because there's always going to be service problems. So mapping out a strategy to recover. And if you could make a comment on that.
Yeah, you know, and this is part of the promise delivery system. It's part of these 8 key systems there to actually really shine in every area and mainly lead. See, we didn't start businesses to get told what to do. You know, we started our own business, anyone, whatever size we're at, to lead and to deliver our genius or our products our way. So, but yet most people don't actually, they have a product and a service, but they don't lead the rest. So there needs to be some systems and automations and processes in place to actually systemize, as I said, systemize the predictable so that you can expedite and really enlarge the exceptional, right? And so, yeah, that's all part of the process of branding. And most people wouldn't think so. They would think that that's business building or business system. It's part of setting up your brand for success.
Excellent. I'm just conscious and respectful of people's times. I do one of the things, I'm going to turn things over to Jeff to say thanks and acknowledge to Isabel. But before I do that, I want to congratulate Kate Orman and Dave Braddock. They both won $50 gift certificates from a great local restaurant and proud chamber member in Kelowna, the Thai Terrace. So thanks to the Thai Terrace for that, and congratulations for those that won those gift certificates. It's great to hear from passionate people like Isabel. It's great to have you with us, and hopefully we'll have you back. And it's been acknowledged by some that have joined us on chat function. Jeff, do you want to wrap things up?
Yeah, I just want to thank Isabel again. I mean, it's rare to have a speaker so well qualified and so enthusiastic about her message. I appreciated the clarity. I like how everything's broken down into levels and different pieces that all fit together. It's also refreshing at the outset. You talked about the pandemic as an opportunity, and it is a time when some of us have more time to reflect, and this is really it. I mean, if we're going to make it through, let's make it through strong.
Totally.
On behalf of our board and the staff of the chamber and all those who have joined us today, I want to thank everyone who's here for taking time out of their busy schedules. It's really important we do these things to get together and we build back together. Isabel, some time ago, we shifted away from giving away bottles of wine to our speakers. That was actually pre-COVID, and in favor of making donations to a local charity.
Nice.
Because most of our speakers, you know, a bottle of wine perhaps might mean less to them than a charitable donation. And so this month, our benefactor is the BC SPCA.
Perfect.
A donation on your behalf to them.
That is so perfect. I was going to say, please tell me that it's animal related. Love it.
I'm glad it worked out that way. Thank you again very much for your time and your knowledge and insight.
You're welcome anytime.
And thanks again, Isabel. I'm going to wrap things up here just by plugging our next event. It's Women in Leadership / Politics. Kamala Harris, the first female vice president, inspired many others. As a father of young daughters, it was great to see her acceptance speech in the U.S., but enough about U.S. politics. We're going to talk about Canadian leadership, and particularly we're really thrilled to be able to have MP Tracy Gray and MLA-elect Renee Merrifield that will join us on December 18th. That's our next edition of our speaker series, and hopefully we'll have Barry back. It was great to have him with us today. I want to thank all of you. A reminder, this will be posted on our YouTube channel. We'll also be following up with those that have joined us, Isabel. If you want to provide any additional information, we will ensure those documents, that contact information is circulated to all those that have joined us. I want to thank all of you for joining, particularly Isabel for being a speaker today, Jeff for joining us. I want to wish you all, well, can I start saying Merry Christmas? And we're not quite in December, but have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you in December. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.